Let's now take the conversation to South Sudan, where 6 journalists have been detained by security forces over the viral video of the country's president apparently urinating on himself. The clip, filmed during an official event, shows South Sudanese leader Salva Kiir standing for the national anthem, initially oblivious as a stain spreads on his trousers and a pool forms at his feet.
Video, of course, never aired on television, but subsequently circulated on social media. Now, on Friday, the Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, reported that 6 journalists for the state-run South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, SSBC, had been detained by the country's National Security Service under suspicion of an unauthorized release of the footage. The CPJ named the detainees as Control Room Director Joval Tombe, Camera Operator and Technician Victor Lado, Camera operators Joseph Oliver and Jacob Benjamin, camera operator and technician Mustafa Osman, and control room technician Shebek Ruben. According to the president of the South Sudan Union of Journalists, Patrick Oyet, the men are suspected of having knowledge on how the video of the president urinating on himself came out. Now, in all fairness, if you look at this video, you'd notice that as soon as we saw the clip of the pool of water forming underneath the president, the cameraman panned away from him, right? At this moment, watch, the president notices this, and immediately the cameraman sees what's happening. He moves away to try and sort of salvage the moment, and it's just unfortunate that they now have to take the fall for it in this scenario. Now, one of the conversations that have been brought up is the rights of citizens and rights of journalists and pressmen as the members of the fourth estate of the realm. Now, if you do feel that a person has committed a crime, they must be brought before a court of competent jurisdiction. And according to the provisions of the law in South Sudan, you have 24 hours. Bring them before a court of competent jurisdiction. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the situation there. Yeah, it's a sad situation, you know, and I'm not even sure what they're going to be charged with, or if they're going to be charged with anything.
Well, they're saying unauthorized release of footage. So yeah, the footage maybe shouldn't have gotten to the public because it was meant to air on TV, but I think, of course, because of seeing how the situation was, yeah, it couldn't air on TV. So how did it get to social media is some of the questions that's been asked here.
Yeah. But I think we did speak about this a while ago, and I said, you know, this is some of the realities of old age and, you know, presidency. And, you know, hiding it from the world, you know, or trying to silence the media doesn't change, you know, what is the facts with regards Salva Kiir's possible health challenges with his urinary system or urinary retention system. So I hope, you know, that of course they are released and they can go back to their families, and there is nothing more complicated than this. But you know, this, you know, it's just a really, really heartbreaking story for press freedom. And of course, you know, seeing where this could lead, you know, they could be charged with some of the most bogus, you know, given charges and maybe sent to prison. I have no idea. But I feel bad for them, and I hope that they, you know, go back to their families as quickly as possible.
I mean, to be honest, when we talk about this as well, it's like we said, it's a reality that with old age comes several sicknesses, right? Anything can happen. And whilst on the one hand, that's not something that you can avoid, having some incontinence of any level. I mean, it's something that cannot be avoided. Yes, they have denied his sickness and his not being emotionally well, or not being physically well. It has been denied several times. But one thing that I think the focus should be thrown on is some of the challenges that South Sudan is currently facing. And, you know, rather than focusing on this situation that can easily be moved on from. There had been reports initially as well that some people had died. I cannot confirm this. Or some people who were involved in this had died. I cannot confirm this. But South Sudan does have challenges in terms of security. It's one of the newest and the youngest African nations, and has some other, you know, conversations that they should be focusing on rather than something this embarrassing.
Oh, they try to focus on it, but, you know, they also are trying to protect the, you know, hide the shame of the president at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, and that's,
we of course will follow up with this conversation and see if those journalists will eventually be released, and we will update our viewers across Africa and across the world.